To better understand how to work in the shelter, it's important to know how the shelter is set up. This section of the video will show you how the shelter is arranged and where to find important information and supplies. We recommend you start your first shift by touring the shelter to find the location of all of these items and important areas. This map shows a satellite image of the shelter. You'll be working here in the main shelter building. Inside this building, you'll find the following areas. This is the main lobby area. This is the first part of the shelter that our visitors see. Here, client care associates are available to answer questions you have about volunteering and will take your completed training study guide during your first shift. The main lobby area is also where you'll sign in and out of the volunteer log and find volunteer name tags. Behind the main lobby area is the dog adopt area. This is where most of the shelter's ready-to-be adopted dogs are located. When you first begin volunteering, we recommend you walk dogs from this area. The dog walking supply area is located here. In this part of the shelter, you'll find all the materials you'll need to train dogs, including leashes, toys, treats, bags for solid waste, and clothespins. You'll also find the volunteer information board located here. These supplies will be described in more detail later in the video. Near these supplies is the kennel exit door, the door used to take dogs in and out of the shelter. It's important not to take dogs through the lobby area because they might jump on people or other dogs, and they can track in mud or dirt. There are more dogs behind the dog adopt area, in a part of the shelter called Healthy Dog Hold. Dogs in Healthy Dog Hold are waiting to move up to the dog adopt area. Dogs may be in Healthy Dog Hold for a variety of reasons. For instance, they may not have had a temperament assessment, or may be stray dogs. Because the shelter does not have legal guardianship for stray dogs, we cannot allow volunteers to handle them. Healthy Dog Hold can be a bit tricky to navigate, and we recommend that you do not walk dogs from this area until you have more experience walking dogs from the dog adopt area. You should also be able to read and understand information provided on kennels. You'll learn more about kennel information later in this video. Other areas of the shelter include the cat adopt room and 2 free-roaming adoptable cat areas known as Cattopia and Paradise. There is also a workroom located here where shelter staff clean laundry and dishes and where sheltered pets are groomed. There are also a number of areas where volunteers cannot go without a staff member. These include a number of clinics and areas where animals with medical or behavioral needs live while receiving specialized care from staff. The shelter is always looking for help with animals in these areas, but volunteers must receive specialized training to work with these animals. If you're interested in working in any of these areas, let shelter staff know so you can receive training. Outside the shelter, there are 5 large dog areas: the Big Pine Yard, the Blaze Yard, the West Willow Yard, the East Elm Yard, and the Untree Yard. There's also a small dog yard located here, the Little Dogwood Yard. The Little Dogwood Yard is for dogs that are very small, about 25 pounds or less. Do not take small dogs into the large yards, or large dogs into the small yard. If all the yards at the shelter are full, walk your dog around on leash until one becomes available. Notice that there is a fenced-in yard here, just outside the kennel exit door. This is not an exercise yard. Do not let your dog off leash in this area. Other dogs will be coming in and out of the shelter, and letting your dog off leash in this area could result in injury. Do not use the yards located in the back of the shelter, here. These yards are used for dogs that are ill and receiving special medical care. If you take healthy dogs from the dog adopt area into these yards, you could be exposing them to illness that could quickly spread throughout the shelter. This section of the training video is now complete. Be sure that you've answered all the questions in your training study guide, and when you're ready, move on to the next section of the training video.